Hey guys, it's Mark. At this time with Hawkeye Ignite again, here with Adam Maxwell, our match director, and Josh Freilich, our assistant to the secretary, deputy match director.
Deputy works.
Deputy works good. All right, awesome. And today we're continuing our kind of getting involved in Three Gun Nation series.
Yeah.
This time we're talking specifically about the divisions. Now, the goal here isn't to go way deep in the weeds. We're just going to give you
Because you can.
because you really can.
Yeah.
But just to give you an overview for those of you who don't necessarily know what the differences are between the divisions from like an Outlaw match versus Three Gun Nation. And also, we are going to avoid heavy and PCC, because if you guys are into that, you probably aren't watching an intro video on how to get into Three Guns. So,
Right. What we have represented here represents 90% of the field
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
a regional.
Yep,
So
for sure.
right on. Well, let's start real quick with what is now known as Factory.
let's start with practical.
You want to start with
I
Practical?
want to start with practical.
All right.
I'll leave it up to the match director. All right, we'll start with Practical. Adam, take it away.
Well, practical is the division that's most like what you're used to. It's what most people participate in. It's what you see on the Pro Series and everything. It's probably the most, mainstream division in that you're shooting an AR-15 in 223 or 5.56 with some sort of magnified optic if you would like, a full capacity 9mm pistol, and then a tube-fed shotgun with starting with 9 rounds, but you can have a longer tube and load as many as you would like after the buzzer.
So the equivalent would be TAC Ops.
Yep.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
okay.
it is synonymous with TAC Ops. Basically, if it's a practical piece of equipment that you can use, be it the extended magazines, the little wings you can put on the magazines now, side saddles on your shotguns,
Yep.
full capacity magazines on your pistols. You can get pretty much as exotic as you would like on the pistols, without ports or compensators or optics.
Yeah, cool.
And that's the division where most things are allowed to play, and that's where most people choose to play the game.
Yeah, that's the biggest by far.
Yes,
Right?
yeah.
Who's
I
the
mean,
most
it's probably, without knowing the specific numbers, probably 70% of people who show up to a Three Gun Nation match are shooting in practical division.
Yep. And that's also the shoot-off rules.
Correct. Currently.
As it stands right now, that's
they change all the time. But yes.
yeah, I'm hearing rumors about 2018 right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
So,
right.
all right, yeah, very cool. So then, the next field, without getting into the race guns, which Josh is here to talk about, would be the factory.
And there's
division.
factory division. Traditionally, in Outlaw 3-gun, TAC irons, or limited division, really the only difference between that and TAC optics was how you could configure the rifle. You couldn't have a magnified optic on your rifle, but otherwise it was pretty much the same. And I believe it was last year, Three Gun Nation kind of changed the rules on limited a little bit. As they did with all the other divisions, they're trying to breathe more life into the other divisions, trying to get people out and diversify and play the other versions of the game. So they sought to make factory division, what they call factory division now, actually have a different flavor than practical division. So what they did, still the 1 power optic on the rifle. You're not allowed to have any magnified optics on your rifle, so you're either 1 power optics or iron sights. But other than that, you're pretty much free to shoot a TAC optics rifle in every other regard.
Except the magazines.
Except with the magazines. You can only shoot conventional 30-round magazines. You can couple them together, but you can't put extensions on. You can't put the support wings on, anything like that. You can't shoot the drum mags. So they're trying to keep it simple there. The stuff that you would buy when you buy a rifle, that's kind of how they want you to shoot. Now,
Like how they would ship it from the factory.
Right. Now people are going to argue that you could change. Oh well, a rifle doesn't ship that way. Within reason,
Right.
they're
It's
trying to keep
close.
it. It's a simpler, sleeker equipment set.
Yep.
The pistols remain the same. It's not like USPSA or IDPA and that factory division pistols are limited on modifications. You can still shoot, a full, limited gun, like you can in TAC optics, with the full size magazine. You just can't load it full.
Yep.
I believe they're capped at 15 rounds.
Okay.
So like a standard service 9mm pistol would be, so you could buy the factory magazines, load them to pretty much their full capacity, depending on which brand you buy, and shoot that.
So you're gonna end up doing more mag changes. I mean, you almost never do them with tac ops, but with
Right.
with the
Right.
sorry with the
the
practical,
practical.
but with factory, plan on carrying a couple of magazines on your belt because you're gonna need them.
For sure.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
on.
Yep.
And then they also limited the shotgun magazine tube as well. So you can't run the super long magazine
Yep.
tubes on the shotgun.
This gun right here is actually set up for this season for shooting the factory, and this is would be a total 9. You're only allowed to have 8 in the tube, and so I've got a plug in here to make this one. So Blair set this one up for me just for that purpose because I'm going to be shooting that this summer. So
Yep. So you're limited on capacity in the shotgun. You're limited on capacity in the pistol, and you're pretty much at a conventional capacity in the rifle. And that's what gives factory division a little different flavor. It's intended to be a little bit more attainable division to be competitive in, but you can still with your TAC Optics gear with a few subtle changes you can run factory as well.
sounds good. All right, and that brings us to Unlimited,
Mhm.
which is the open class
Yep.
of Three Gun Nation, and Josh is a rising star in that particular division. So he brought some of his gear out to show us a little bit about what the differences are for you.
Yep. So unlimited division, it really is truly unlimited in Three Gun Nation. So these 170 millimeter magazines,
Yep.
that's not even the limit, right? If I had 200 millimeters, I could run them. So if I
Right.
had a Glock with a big stick, I could just throw a 33 rounder right in there and go to town.
Mhm.
Running red dots, compensators, Thumb-R-S, goofy race holsters if you want it. You probably don't because of retention. But so running raced out gear, right? With pistol, with rifle, the biggest advantage for me, I feel, in unlimited division is I can run multiple optics,
Yep.
right? So I can run a primary scope. So for me, because I have a backup red dot that's canted, I run a 2.5 by 10, so I get a little bit more zoom than most of you guys
Sure.
do
Yep.
in the other divisions for nice up close shots, good sight picture at long range.
I got some pictures of that. We'll fly that.
Okay.
In. Yep.
Yep, and then canted dot, I run that offset for everything within 50 yards.
So that would be like you have on your shotgun there,
Yep.
except rigged up on a rifle, a lot like Mark's here.
Yep.
Right.
So all my long guns, I run multiple optics because I can. Right. There's no rule against it. So
Yep.
I'll set one up for primary bird shot. For my shotgun, I run one for slugs as well, and then I have some redundancy. Again, unlimited when it comes to the shotgun. So you can see some capacity limitations in many of the divisions. I'm running 25 round drums. I run 20 round big sticks. It's a box magazine fed shotgun. So this is the shortest option that I'll run is a 12 rounder.
Yep.
But there's other guys running like X-Rail, right? You've seen those.
Mhm.
I know Wyatt's, the Gibsons are running them.
Yep.
A bunch of guys are running those guns, and they're running those things like monsters too, right?
Yep.
So lots of options. You can kind of go crazy, and just
Unlimited's pretty much the Wild West as far as equipment goes.
for sure.
Quick shout out, real quick, to the guys at Dissident Arms that built this gun for
Yeah.
you. They also run the South
They're putting on the Southwest
regional. Yep. So
and,
we'll have
and
links to that
I think
as
they're
well.
a sponsor of the whole regional series.
Right.
As well.
So if you're down in the Texas area, you want to look out for that one as well. So this is a pretty broad overview. Anything
Mhm.
you guys want to add, or should we wrap this sucker up?
That's the big stuff. Unlimited, you can do what you want.
Yep.
Right. The other divisions, you have a couple of limitations, but whatever it is, just bring your guns out and shoot.
Yeah.
there are divisions for the heavy guns for the 45 pistols and 308s and also for the PCCs, but in the interest of brevity, we're going to let you research.
If you
that
have any
later on,
specific
so.
questions about that, just put a note either on our Facebook page or in the YouTube comments. We get to them as quick as we can. So, all right, guys. So come out to the Midwest Regional. That's April 8th and 9th, and all the other cool stuff we got going on that week. There's an RO class, Keith Garcia master class, Mike Sexton master class. It's going to be a hell of a week. So April 8th and 9th at Forest Lake Sportsman's Club. Thanks so much, guys.
See you there.